iShowSpeed is at an absolute breaking point with White Speed. The guy that chases him around and tries to beat him literally found him in South Africa in Eswatini, and when Speed found out, he absolutely blew up. You could tell when his security came up to him and said, "Hey man, White Speed is here. White Speed is here." He told his cameraman, cut the voice, and mumbled something to his security. Something like, "Man, next time you see him, make sure he knows we don't want to see him anymore." And I can completely understand this because White Speed always follows him everywhere. And it's getting to a point that he is potentially becoming a detriment to his brand. And White Speed almost cried, teared up, because he had an altercation with Speed Security where he says that Speed Security told him, "Don't touch me. Do not touch me." And White Speed feels like it's the end of the world. Like, man, all I want to do, like, I just want to talk to them. Just have a conversation with them. Like, he really wants to talk to Speed's team and just get things right because it's not what they think. He's just trying to work. iShowSpeed is at an absolute...
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Verse or Belly Dirt channel. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I'm gonna be your today's host, and I have so many stitches to put up here, and we're gonna come out to talk about it. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
Yo! So if you haven't been paying attention, iShowSpeed was told by somebody on his team to not acknowledge White Speed as he was dangling from a building in South Africa.
White Speed's up top, don't look up there. You hear me?
This could mean a bunch of things, right? The way that I took it is that he's literally dangling from a building. So if Speed acknowledges him and he gets injured, it's almost like he egged it on. So if you sit there and you don't even, I didn't even notice, I didn't know, then you're not going to get banned and you're not going to get in trouble for it because you had nothing to do with it. It just so happened to happen at the same time as you were live outside. Or that could mean that they don't want him on the stream anymore, and I don't agree with this. I don't think that that's the case because White Speed has a challenge where he's going to be stream sniping iShowSpeed across the entire continent of Africa. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, he has to have some type of connection with somebody in Speed's team in order to do that. For the people that live in Africa, you know this. You can't just travel from country to country to country. There's so many restrictions, and even Speed has already been dealing with these issues to the point where he's had to make pivots. He was supposed to do a stream in Botswana before South Africa, and he had issues, so he just pivoted. If he's genuinely stream sniping him, he's not going to be able to keep up with that, bro. They have to be making some type of accommodations for him. And don't get it twisted, that's still a lot of work. You got to do all the traveling, you're jet lagged, you're tired, but guess what? You still got to show up on the stream and perform, which is exactly what he did. I mean, he's dangling from a building in a whole different continent. Other than that, though, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious.
Bro, iShowSpeed just ran into White Speed again here in Africa, and now it leaves the question, like, does he want him in the streams or not? The craziest part about this is this dude Tiki, White Speed, baited everybody saying that he was leaving Africa. Now, obviously, elephant in the room, he thought Speed's team wanted nothing to do with him when his security was being completely rude every time he tried to encounter Speed. But it seems to me like Speed was low-key a little shocked about all this, but he also mentioned White Speed. Something tells me that they have no problem with White Speed. I just think they didn't like the fact that he was dangling on that railing. But honestly, bro, he means well. It's like, I don't think White Speed's a bad dude. I low-key felt bad because I originally made a video kind of saying that White Speed should stop doing what he's doing and it's influencing other people to want to stream snipe Speed. And then he ended up commenting on my video and I felt like really bad. Like, he's just trying to have fun. Honestly, I'm glad that Speed is respecting the hustle and not only just respecting it, he's also acknowledging it. And for White Speed to make it seem like he was leaving Africa, this was the perfect bait and the perfect moment. Like, this wholesome moment right here captured on camera. This is awesome. W White Speed, bro.
If I was Speed, I would be fucking irritated if a white version of myself wanted to fucking follow me on every fucking continent state I go to and trying to get clip farmed, trying to get recognized, known and shit. Like, motherfucker, get your own, find your own potential and do that shit. This Speed is literally ruining iShowSpeed's Africa fucking tour right now. Like, it's gotten to the point where Speed's team even has to warn Speed, like, oh, White Speed is over here right now, you know, don't look at him, don't give him any attention, don't put the camera on him or anything. And I genuinely feel so bad for Speed because, yeah, white motherfucker's already up here. Let him be. Let Speed stream do what he does best without giving the credit to a fucking white man. Like, enough of this shit. Like, personally, if I was Speed, I would get a restraining order against him. And it was a situation where White Speed was like hanging from like a cliff, and Speed's team told him like, don't acknowledge him, because if he falls, they're gonna try to blame it on you because you're watching him, you're entertaining it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's taking away all the fun and excitement is from Speed's tour. Like, y'all remember when Speed did America? Like, that shit was fun. That shit was so entertaining. And now in Africa, it's just really like, content-wise, he can't do a lot of stuff because he will get in. Like, he's having a really hard time, and I feel bad because he always, you know, every time he's somewhere, he always tries to help the people. He gives them money, this and the third. But with this tour, he cannot do none of that shit. And now this White Speed is trying to take away his like momentum. He's trying to like get the attention from everybody else. And obviously, they're in Africa right now. So like him being like one of the only people over there right now, he's getting all the fucking attention and Speed isn't. And that shit is kind of irritating. Like, you know how much money, effort this man puts into his stuff? Even though it just looks like a camera's just following him around. No, he does a lot. And it's getting very fucking unappreciative. And all of the, you know, like, oh my god, all the positive shit is going to White Speed. And that's not right. And apparently this White Speed, he literally does his own content and stuff with his girlfriend. So it's like, why are you, he's literally been following Speed continent to continent, state to state, like just knowing exactly where he's at. He shows up and he does some shit to get attention. Like, I don't know, but Speed's team needs to do a better job when it comes to like making sure that his location is not known before they get to the actual location, because I think that's what the problem is. That's why White Speed is always able to find them, and he's trying to like clip farm or whatever the case is. If I was Speed, I would.
White Speed wants us to feel bad for him that iShowSpeed nor his production want anything to do with him.
To come across the world to try to like create a cool story, they're like off. It's like, really, bro? The security guard, he looks at me and says, don't touch me. It's like,
The internet saying that he's trying to colonize Speed Does Africa tour. Now think about this. iShowSpeed is doing a Speed Does Africa tour, which is breaking down the negative stereotypes that Americans and possibly the world have about Africa. And it's for his culture. And then we got a guy named White Speed, who is white from the United States, stream sniped him here in the United States during his Speed Does America tour, goes over to Africa to iShowSpeed's Speed Does Africa tour, which yet again is about his culture and is also breaking down negative stereotypes, to stream snipe iShowSpeed in Africa. So yeah, when the internet says, hey, it's like colonizing the Speed Does Africa tour, kinda is. Personally, I think this is highly disrespectful to Speed, to Africa, to the production, AIM, Slips, the security. And I think he should just leave them alone. What do you guys think about this? W Speed.
Bro, why did the white iShowSpeed stream snipe him all the way to Africa, and why do white people always try to act black? We are not going to forget about White Boy M being the first white iShowSpeed. Why is there always a white iShowSpeed and not a black guy trying to act white? Like, why isn't there another black guy trying to be just like Speed? Why is there only white people trying to be like Speed? It doesn't make any sense. The only time a black guy tries to be white is if he's in the suburbs, and even that's unnormal. Like, you could be in the ghetto, the suburbs, you could be in a different planet. The white guy's always going to try to act black. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, this dude Tiki that already stream sniped iShowSpeed during his America tour now calls himself the new white iShowSpeed and just stream sniped him in his Africa tour. It makes me think to myself, if White Boy M made a whole career out of being the fake white iShowSpeed, what is this guy's intention? Like, is he trying to make a whole career out of it? Is he going to be a streamer? Like, what is he going to do now? Like, it's just so weird to me. Does there need to be a white Kai Cenat, a black Aiden Ross? Shit, I can't talk shit. I sit here and talk about streamers all day, so I get, like, trying to go viral, making a name for yourself. You know, I do commentary, but, like, this guy, it needs to be studied because what is his motive? To make all this right, we need a white Kai Cenat and a black Aiden Ross at this point.
Guys, we are in Cape Town, South Africa! Yeah! I just finished my first stream snipe of Speed. Guys, I'd be lying if I said this Africa tour was gonna be as easy to stream snipe in America. I've been in Cape Town now for like 2 days. And bro, I'm in a foreign continent, a foreign country, all alone basically. It's an insane journey. But you know what? You gotta put yourself to the test, battle with yourself, and believe in your dreams. You see the shirt, it says Tiki on it. Come on, baby. Hey, we're gonna make it. I hope every day. I don't think it's gonna be every single day, because it's damn near impossible, because I'm in Africa and I don't know what I'm doing. But hey, I'm gonna be showing up. I'm in Africa. You guys didn't think I would make it, and I'm here. Let's go!
be completely honest. Aim's unfollowed me on Instagram. he he unfollowed me on Instagram today, which was kind of insane to me. So clearly, to you guys, not scripted. But it's been such a wild day. Drove basically all the way to Eswatini, thinking Speed would be there. He wasn't. Sparked up the stream, realized he was in Johannesburg, turned around because he can drive from these cities, and then hung like a bat. Unfortunately, it seems like I didn't want to be recognized by the team, so I've got to kind of figure this out. But anyways, I'm always believing in the dream. I'm not going to give up. I'll be back very soon. Love y'all. Tiki out.
Let's talk about this topic that I see going viral on the internet right now, and that's a lot of people talking about the fact that
they have Wi-Fi.
People, shut up, nigga. That there are people who are having their eyes open to the reality that Africa is not just like dirt roads and huts and niggas chucking spears and shit like that. And to me, it's kind of hard to even take this seriously because I cannot believe that anybody who is even remotely educated, like even a little bit, thinks that that is what all of the continent of Africa, the largest continent in the world, is like.
Guy following Speed around is weird, man. That's very weird. I know. Continue. It's just weird, man. Honestly, and I understand why Speed doesn't like fully entertain that shit because it's weird. It's very weird. It is extremely weird.
Left, right, 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 left, right.
Who the actual fuck is
this new white Speed?
The only white Speed that I know is
White Boy M, on God.
So Speed is genuinely at a breaking point right now, and I don't think people understand how serious this situation has become. This isn't just some internet beef or some funny rivalry that fans keep trying to turn into content. This is real life stress, real life safety concern, and real life brand damage happening in real time. When Speed's own security has to walk up to him and quietly warn him like, hey man, why Speed is here, that already tells you everything you need to know. That is not normal, that is not funny, that is not content, that is a problem. You could literally see it on Speed's face when they told him. The energy immediately shifted. He told the cameraman to cut the voice, cut the audio, and he learned in to talk to security. That is not someone playing a character, that is not a range bait. That is someone who is fed up, someone who feels cornered, someone who doesn't even feel comfortable reacting on camera anymore because he knows anything he does can be clipped, twisted, or used against him. And honestly, I don't blame him at all. Put yourself in Speed's shoe for a second. Imagine building yourself from the ground up. Years of grinding, streaming every day, being clowned, being doubted, being hated, being loved, risking your mental health, risking your reputation, and then finally reaching a level where you are touring the world. Africa, Europe, America, different continents, different culture, different countries. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment for him. And now, everywhere he goes, there is a grown man deliberately chasing him across continent, trying to attach himself to his brand, trying to get recognized as the other Speed. That is not coincidence, that is not accidental, that is intentional. People keep trying to play dumb and say, oh, he just wants to talk, or he just wants a conversation, or he's just trying to walk. No, let's call it what it is. He's trying to clip on. He's trying to lynch. He's trying to build relevance of another man's identity. Because if White Speed didn't look like Speed, if he didn't act like Speed, if he didn't change Speed, nobody would be talking about him, period. And that is the part people are refusing to acknowledge. Speed isn't obligated to give anyone access to him. He's not obligated to have a conversation. He's not obligated to explain himself. He's not obligated to clear things up. When someone repeatedly show up in your space uninvited after you have clearly shown discomfort, that crosses the line from fandom into harassment. I don't care how you try to spin it. The fact that Speed team literally has to say things like don't look at him, don't acknowledge him, don't put the camera on him, tells you this is now a strategy for protection, not content management. They are not doing this to be pretty. They are doing this because every second of acknowledgement feeds the situation and make it worse. And here's something people don't want to talk about: liberty. There was literally a moment where White Speed was hanging off a cliff or putting himself in a dangerous situation, and Speed team told Speed not to acknowledge him. Why? Because if something goes wrong, if he falls, if he gets hurt, the internet will immediately flip it and say Speed watched him, Speed encouraged it, Speed entertained it. That is how fast things get ugly online. One clip, zero content, and suddenly Speed is trending for the wrong reason. That is not fair. That is not safe. That is not normal. Meanwhile, White Speed goes online crying, tearing up, acting like he's the victim because security told him, "Don't touch me, bro." You followed another man across continents, you track his location, you inserted yourself into his space, and you are shocked that security doesn't want physical contact. Be serious. Security is there to protect their client, not make friends, not hear your side, not give you closure. Their job is to keep Speed safe, period. Once someone becomes unpredictable, emotional, or persistent, security has no choice but to shut it down completely. And let's talk about the African tour specifically, because this is where it gets even worse. This African tour was special. You could tell Speed was genuinely happy. You could tell he felt connected. You could tell he felt love in a way he hasn't felt in other places. He said himself that being in South Africa made him not want to leave. That is huge. That this wasn't just content. This was personal. This was cultural. This was emotional. But now the vibes is off. Content-wise, Speed can't even move freely anymore. He can't just walk around and interact with people the way he normally does. He can't give out money the way he usually does. He can't stop and joke with fans the way he used to. Everything is tense. Everything is monitored. Everything is calculated. Why? Because one wrong moment involving White Speed could spiral into a massive controversy. That is not fun. That is stressful. And what makes it even more frustrating is that Speed is still the one being expected to handle this gracefully. He's still the one people want to police emotionally. If he snaps, he's wrong. If he ignores him, he's wrong. If he speaks up, he's ungrateful. If he stays silent, he's heartless. There is no winning position here for him. Meanwhile, White Speed is soaking up attention, positive attention, sympathy attention, poor him attention, and that is insane to me. Because let's be real, this attention is not organic, it's borrowed, it's hijacked, it exists only because Speed exists. People keep saying, but he does his own content with his girlfriend. Okay, then why is he following Speed content to continent to continent? Why is he always magically in the same country, same city, same event? Why does he always show up when Speed is live? If your content is strong on its own, you don't need to chase another man's shadow around the world. That is the part that started to feel crippling. And I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I'm being honest. When someone knows your exact location, knows your literally, knows where you are, your business, and keeps showing up uninvited, that is no longer coincidence or hustle. That is obsession. Speed didn't sign up for that. People forget that Speed is still young. He's still learning how to navigate fame, and he's still doing it on the biggest stage possible, with millions of eyes watching his every move, every reaction, every facial expression, every word gets analyzed. That pressure alone is enough to break someone. Now add a content stalker like presence on top of that. Now, if I'm being completely honest, if I were Speed, I would have already explored legal options. A restraining order isn't crazy in this situation. It's not extreme, it's preventative. Because clearly, verbal boundaries are not being respected. And Speed team also needs to tighten up. I agree with that. Location links are a real issue. The fact that White Speed can constantly find them means information is getting out too early. Whether it's hotel staffs, drivers, local contacts, or social media posts, something needs to change, because this isn't just about annoyance, it's about safety. At the end of the day, Speed deserves to enjoy his tour, he deserves to experience Africa without someone trying to steal the spotlight, he deserves to exist without constantly being warned, hey, he's here again. That is exhausting. That drains the joy out of everything. And to the people saying Speed is rolling it himself or overreacting, I genuinely don't think you understand how invasive this is. Imagine you are at the peak of your career traveling the world and someone you don't know want around keeps showing up, keeps forcing interaction, keeps making everything about them. You did lose it too. This isn't funny anymore. It's not content. It's not a meme. It's a real situation that is actively taken away from one of the biggest moments of Speed's career. And the sad part is, instead of protecting Speed experience, the internet is rewarding the disruption. That is the real problem here.
And if you watched up to this extent, don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, why not just share your thought? Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.